Hey, it's me. And the lighting is very sultry, which makes sense because I'm going to be yammering with my boy Pat, who, frankly, is worthy of the Salter. Just going to copy this link. I'm going to send it to him in a Facebook message. And then I'm going to share the link on the page. It's weird, I can go live on the business page that I had to create for this, but you can't invite people. That just seems counterintuitive. Ooh, my eyes look awesome. Yay, sexy eyes. I had a good day today. I played some bass music. I played some trumpet music. What else did I do today? Chatted with my homeboy Wes. Wes is a longtime friend of mine who I've known for many, many years, like since junior high kind of time, so that was good. We try to keep up. He lives in the great state of California, and so usually once a year we go camping and have a weekend or a couple days or whatever where we just completely just hang out and chat and all that stuff. But then this COVID thing, hang on one sec. How do I join? Just be in the Facebook app. Go to my page and click if that helps, and I'll add you. Alright, so Pat, if you are watching right now, make sure that you're using the Facebook app, not like mobile device thing or whatever. Like often if you click on the link, like the link that I sent you, it will do dumb things. Sorry, I'm just taking rice off the stove because I'm domesticated like that. Oh, yeah. And then when you come in, I'll see you as a person human in here as opposed to just a number, and then I can add you. So yeah, just waiting on Pat to get in. Yeah, but essentially it's been a pretty fine day, and I'm really excited about this chat. I've known Pat for years. Let me just officially say that I love that man with all my heart. He used to live in Calgary and used to play in a band called the band was called Sedition Choir. And we bonded over that because I have the word sedition written on my arm like a dude bro. Which is, super fun and awesome. But yeah, I loved his band in Calgary. I was always a huge fan. And then he moved away to the distant shores of Lotus Land. And we kept in touch. And he played a couple of Calgary shows, just reunions with the Sedition Choir boys. And then he started this new band, the Grinning Barretts, who were doing great. And, COVID great. He says he's here. Hey, Pat. Sometimes it takes a second for Facebook to figure out that you're actually a human being, and so we'll just give it a second. But do make sure that you're not in the mobile browser or anything like that. If you clicked the link that I sent you, I'm always nervous about sending the link, because if you click that, depending on how your Facebook Messenger works, it might open it up in the shitty Samsung browser or whatever. Is that you? I see a face. Is that? Nope, that's Tim. Hi, Tim. I see you. Still waiting on Pat to join us, but he's there. We're just figuring out the technology stuff. So Pat, if you go to my Facebook page and from the Facebook app, and you click on the stream, it should, hey, Tim, my man. It should allow you in, and then I can bring you on camera as soon as you're there. I also sent you an invite to this, Pat, so you should be able to Like there should be a notification or something that you can follow. Either way, we'll just take a moment. We're not in a rush, are we? I know I'm not. Not with this incredible lighting. It was nicer when my camera or my computer was open, getting the extra glow of my honkiness. See, look how blue my eyes are today. Sexy. Yeah. Excited about going back to work tomorrow. That'll be fun. It's been a whole weekend, and who doesn't like that? Going back to work and everything. Just gonna message him, make sure he can hear me, because I have no idea. And we'll figure this all out. Time will tell. I always have these little quirks when I do Facebook Live. I'm sure there are better ways to go about this, but we'll see. I'm not terribly motivated to like invest in a Twitch account or something, or the craziness that goes with trying to be like a super podcast multimillionaire. So Pat is watching. I don't see you in the list of viewers. So that tells me that you're either on your computer or you're using like a link that is not actually Facebook. It's like the Google Chrome or something like that. That's my bet. Because that's the key. This is the strange thing about Facebook Live is it actually only allows me to invite people who are using the Facebook app on iOS, which that took some figuring out. If I made money at this, I'd be rich. I see Pat. I can add him. Yeah, I definitely. It would change me. I would become a worse person, which I'm perfectly okay with. It says I'm adding. I'm going to. Still hasn't figured out that you're like in the chat, but it's getting better. I saw the. You're not listed as a viewer now. Fucking Facebook. Well, we'll get there. No one else is sitting there bored as shit, going, "Oh God, I hope this works." I'm just gonna cancel that. And we'll, because it wasn't working. Pat, try that again. Come back into the stream. The stream, that sounds so like hippie. Hey man, let's get in the stream. Hey, eldest man-child just returned.
How's it going?
Well, I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright.
Cool. So I'm doing a Facebook Live right now. You're not in the way or anything like that, but just waiting on. We're having some challenges getting Pat connected, and then once that's fixed, we'll have our chat, which I'm stoked about because Pat's rad. I actually got to see Pat during the brief hiatus of quarantines. He was in town for a week or so, and we ended up having a couple beers in the backyard when that was legal and safe, and it was awesome. It was great to catch up with him, so I'm stoked about this chat, and hopefully we can get through all the dumb technology business. Just make sure, yeah, it says you're invited. Pat, how we doing? Are you still around and watching? How's the sound of me cracking a beer?
If you want technical support, I'm here.
I don't think this is one of those things. I mean, I appreciate that. It's not like I don't have a degree in this, but
that was my joke. Was that you're internet software worker?
But to be fair, I'm still old, so I don't understand technology the way you do. So you probably could give me technical support.
I feel like it's more you could teach me about some programs for your workplace, and I'll teach you about the stuff that I'm very used to, like social media.
I could definitely teach you how to do great things with Vizio.
Okay, so just as much as a person from another country could teach me German, and I can teach them English. You teach each other things based on your knowledge.
It's true. He's a wise child of mine.
See, you're not stupid and old. You're just not involved with internet as much.
Just gonna message Pat, how we doing? Which I almost said Dom, but I didn't. Worst case scenario, I will stop this feed and start another one. And maybe that will solve our problems. You can see, but no link to join. I'm just going to say, Pat, close the whatever you're in. And I just sent you a Facebook message. No, that's not going to work. Don't do that. Just on Facebook, like search for me, and then on my page, like the first thing is the live stream. Maybe that'll make things better. I don't know. We'll figure this out. And if we don't, well, it sucks. I blame Facebook. But I have faith. You gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. I find this as a platform, though, is kind of frustrating. Facebook's live, like the business page won't let me invite people, so I have to do it from my personal thing, which is fine, but it's always this like 10-minute process of like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I get people in? So maybe I should look at, investing in like Zoom or Twitch or Discord or something, but it just feels like this was very much like not a like career decision. It was like, I think that'd be a good thing to do, and I haven't had a whole lot of desire to turn it into a thing that I'm investing chunks of money into. So maybe that's me being a surly old man. Just waiting on Pat. We're having some technical difficulties. If it doesn't work, I'll stop this and start a new stream and see if that fixes things. We'll see. Pat, if you're watching, can you comment on the stream? Yeah, I have to fill space now, so I'm just gonna do like, I just call to say I love you. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna sing Stevie Wonder songs. Pat, you're watching. Oh, and there I can see Pat's icon, and I can click add. This might have solved our problem. Neat. It says adding. It's adding. It's adding. Are you like in the middle of nowhere with shitty internet? I can't. Hey. Oh, there you are. I couldn't hear you at first, and I was like, oh no, this is only half the problem. How you doing, brother?
No, that was just my excitement, at it finally working.
I understand, man. It's the little things in life, and all of a sudden it's just like, bam, yes, things are good.
Yay. Hi.
Yay. What's going on? I've been doing good. I'm keeping my head down and trying to stay, afloat above the COVID tide. And in general, life was good. I just had a really good chat with an old buddy of mine. You won't.
Pardon?
Bartending. I'll take another lucky, please, sir.
I was, getting close to it and poking at it, trying to use a sharp stick to make the fucking thing work, but it wasn't. Then I got down the thing that helped me do it. It said to send you a join request, which I did, and then you were like, "Yeah, I'll talk to him."
Excellent. So, how about you? How's things been? How's the world treating you?
Sure has been a hell of a year we've had this month.
Oh yes.
But I suppose I'm okay. I don't have my spritzer of isopropyl with me, but normally I have a spritzer of isopropyl. I'm in my home though, so hopefully I'm free of COVIDiots in this particular area.
Which is good, very good. Good not to have them in your home.
Yeah,
I kind of have like my youngest son is a little bit on the dumb side. It's not that he's like, oh, I don't believe in masks or anything, but he's 17 years old and they make a lot of bad choices. I never did. I was a good child, but
Were you? That surprises the hell out of me.
I actually was. I was a really, and my parents will back this up. I was a really good, very easy to parent child. I didn't really become a monster till like my early, pardon me, oh, hiccuping, like late teens, early 20s.
Hmm. I was
But
fucking awful growing
yeah,
up. Yeah.
that does not surprise me actually.
Yeah. Fuck you too. Yeah.
In the least. I mean that with the highest of regard. Some of my favorite people were assholes as teenagers.
It wasn't just teenagers. Just growing up in general. Just
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Where did you grow up? Were you a Calgary boy or?
No, I grew up on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Pretty area.
It
Good
is.
rain. It's a damn cold.
Yeah, it is wet. It does get into your bones, but I mean, you grow up in it, you're used to it, right? It's you grow up acclimated to where you're growing up, unless unless it's really 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 bad. So
Yeah. I grew up in the hellscape of Calgary, so I totally understand what you mean. I grew up cold and bitter, and all the good Calgary things.
yeah,
Yeah. So what kind of hijinks would you get up to? Were you like pulling girls' ponytails and sometimes staying out late with your hooligan friends?
not the pulling of ponytails, but definitely I was the first to flip the Monopoly board. It's really, really awful. You did not want to play chess with me because if I lose my queen, I lose my shit.
I think that's fair though, right? And
Is
that's
it though? Like, I don't know. Trying to choke your opponent with a pawn. It's not okay. It's really not.
but I mean, like, do we want to live in a society where you're not allowed to, right? These are my freedoms.
I think what you're talking about are freedoms at this point.
Freedoms. Yes.
Freedoms. My freedoms.
Which don't come with those responsibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, got any big news?
Why don't you spill the beans?
All right, I will spill the beans. Well, not terribly, terribly long ago, my good friend Pat, joining me on the call today, asked if I wanted to contribute a voiceover, ranty type of thing to a song
I said foaming at the mouth.
Foaming at the mouth, yes.
I said foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, which I think I accomplished. But would I like to include a voiceover in a song? And it's a song by Pat's band, the Grinning Barretts, and I am familiar with their work. They're good jinglists. They make the good songs. And so I was like, yeah, sure, fuck, why not? And then I found out, my homie Mark Russell was doing a verse, and I was like, well, fuck yeah. So it's that I did the rant, and then and he had said, Pat, you said, you were like, make sure that you can send
put words in my mouth, dude.
Oh no, I would not. But this is a good thing. You were like, make sure that you send me a video so that we can do a video and make sure there's like a video of you doing all the word things. And I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I can lip sync. I'm good at lip syncing. Turns out it's really fucking hard to lip sync when it's not lyrics in a song, when it's just somebody going like, and let me tell you about the fucking part. It was real fucking hard.
And it's tough to get the foam in the corner of the mouth, or making the right bubbling noise at the right time, right? I mean, you hear a bubble pop at the wrong time.
Absolutely.
What nice work, Avril. Well done.
Oh, I was a skater boy, but it was a fucking awesome experience. I've got a fairly lengthy history of being in rock music videos, so it's no big thing for me. But it was awesome to be a part of. The particular song is fantastic, and
it's kind of timely, isn't it?
It's super timely, and the content
There
is
might be a thing or two happening in the world right now that are, you know, that it references. Although I wrote
Yep.
it years ago, so you know.
but it is definitely relevant and timely, and it's a great song, and I'm super stoked to be a part of it. And if I had the technology, I would play it right now. But what we can do is maybe paste the link to the video if we're is it up or
No, it's not out till Tuesday.
till Tuesday? I wasn't sure.
You got to come back Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh, I can see you next Tuesday.
I am a see you next Tuesday.
Well, I see what you did there, you bad.
Dude,
So Tuesday
did
we will
that.
release that. Yeah,
Yes,
Tuesday we'll
Tuesday.
release the
Yeah.
video.
So Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
I posted episode 2 of Fireside Pat earlier today, which is where I have a little chat with people sitting beside the fire drinking scotch, and
Mhm.
then I went grocery shopping after I did that. And when you burp in your mask after drinking scotch, it's nice.
I could see that being like very much a connoisseur's delight, right? I mean, like your first time you drink scotch and then burp into a mask, it's like, oh, that's fucking gross. But then you develop a nose for it, right?
That's correct. That is correct. We're talking about scotch. I'm gonna have some.
I encourage this. I'm drinking the luckiest of lagers, which is a real departure for me.
Is it? That
It's pretty much all I drink. I enjoy good beer, but I'm also a cheap prick, so
okay. Yeah.
I don't drink a lot of
They
good
started when Lucky was first made. They made that on Vancouver Island, you know.
Yep.
Now it's made in Edmonton.
beer. Yeah, because Edmonton needed something. You know, what did they have? Really?
At the time, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, but I mean, he was waning at that point. They were like, "Go to the Los Angeles, man. We don't care about you, 99
Yeah.
lift balloons." That's dating myself.
But someone's got it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a tender lover, and I appreciate me. So tell me about the song. I mean, I've obviously listened to it a time or two and seen the video and get all glee about it. But I mean, this is an opportunity for you to sort of talk about it and give people the massive one person I think that's watching the ability to.
We
to
have
know
one
all-
person. We have one watching. Nice.
It says one on the top of my screen, but you can never really tell with Facebook Live.
No,
Like
it says
it's
two. I see an eyeball with a 2 next to it. So
yeah. See, I got an eyeball and a 1, and
Huh.
there's no way to know. There's literally like it's a magic game. There could be 30 people watching right now. I would have no idea. It's probably not.
well, that's their loss.
I agree.
So I'm going to tell both of the people who are watching, both the twos of yous who's is watching. So it's just about the intolerance that is currently pervading the discourse that we have as citizens these days. You know, but I mean, I wrote it 2 years ago. I didn't think that when I said spreading like a virus between commercial breaks that it was going to be this literal.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little. I shouldn't have said that. Is this my fault? Did I do this?
Thanks, Pat.
Am I the
Thanks for the pandemic.
damn it? You know? I just wanted to touch a pangolin, you know?
Yeah, like one pangolin. And Mom always said, like, you know, still make it a habit.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think that like that's the thing though is it's almost not even that we are divided right now. It is that there's so much active division and so many people who are actively like seeking out that division. And I'm not talking about, you know, oh, it's Trump or it's you know, Lenny Kravitz or whatever. Like it's, you know, it's we have been steadily moving farther and farther this way. Pre-Trump, it started to happen like I think with I think if I was to put a guess, I'd say Obama. Obama's first election really was divisive in the sense that, you know, some people were very happy to have the first black president, and there was a whole pile of people who were like, wait a second, they can be what now? And that wasn't made better by the years of Obama's presidency, where so much of the time, if he had control of the Senate and the Congress, then it was like, you have to play along and you know, be nice and be good and work for a agreement, you know, come up with a compromise. And in the minute that he didn't have power, it was like, well, no, we're not compromising with you, motherfucker. And then, you know,
he needed the 60 votes to get anything done past the Senate, because they filibustered literally everything he did.
oh yeah, like they could say like, okay, who wants to go for a bathroom break? And some fucking Republican would be like, I'm going to filibuster this.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
like,
I mean, I think that this, you know, Trump is the symptom. That, you know, the infection point was Sarah Palin. You know, she started.
yeah.
You know,
And that whole Tea Party movement,
yeah.
the intense, crazy. Like prior to that, I used to refer to myself as a libertarian.
That's unfortunate.
What's that?
That's unfortunate. You're never going to shake that stink.
Yeah, right. You know, I've also called myself a centrist sometimes, which is not the case. But yeah, the libertarian, my understanding of libertarianism was about very left leaning, you know, leading towards anarchism, and that you know, still qualifies. But all of a sudden, these fucking Tea Party morons pop up and Sarah Palin, like, let me tell you, I can see Russia from my front door. And it was just like, you can't be, no, you're not a libertarian, you motherfucker. You stole that word from me. No takesy backsies, you hippie, you freaks. And yeah, no, I'm with you.
Took that, not necessarily that word, but she made it a point of pride to be stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
Which I think,
was, and you know, I mean, there was loads of anti-science people under Bush. You know, the second Bush, that is, loads of anti-science people. I think. I mean, who's that dude bring a snowball into Congress saying, global warming is real? How did I get a snowball? It's like, shut all the way up.
Yeah, because you do not know how.
It's called winter, dipshit.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, so there was loads of those people, but it did get uncorked with Sarah Palin, and I think I think Sarah Palin was a cynical move on John McCain's part to try and appeal to women once he saw that Obama didn't select Hillary Clinton as his running mate. I think that was it. And, you know, it's a ridiculously cynical move to think that women will vote double X chromosome. Right? Because Sarah Palin was absolutely horrible. But she made it a point of pride to be as anti-intelligent as you possibly can, and we stopped having the same conversation. But Fox had been creating that environment for years. You can only trust us, right? I mean, in Canada, it's Sun News. We have the same bullshit coming from Sun News.
Yep.
And have for a long time. And you know, the slightly more respectable Sun News is Post Media. Well, that was founded by a guy who renounced his Canadian citizenship. Sun News was run by a guy who was an avowed Quebec separatist. So can you find a newspaper mogul who likes Canada to
might be
about
fun.
Canada? You know,
As an idea, yeah. Well, and like our Sun, their Fox, they've got fucking Breitbart, is it? The
There's
Obama's
Breitbart
thing?
now. There's One World News. There's the Sinclair Media Group. Sinclair is really nasty stuff. That's
Yeah.
you know,
And we've got on our side, we've got the Epoch Times and the Rebel Media, right?
uh, yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Actually, yeah, I commend those Canada Post employees who were suspended for 3 days without pay for refusing to deliver the Epoch Times because, yeah,
I get it. Like
Joe, at the risk of sounding self-referential here, that's how this nonsense is spreading like a virus, right? It's
totally.
and then you guys wind up with or there's anti-mask rallies in Nanaimo, there's anti-mask rallies in Canada, where I saw it in Calgary. You've got lots of people just out denying science, and then there's the super hateful portion of that where they're running around with T-shirts on that say 6 million weren't enough, and that's those people were there when the yellow vest movement was co-opted, and they did their truckathon off to Ottawa, and the organizer was being asked, did it not bother you that you have white supremacists? And he's, well, no, it doesn't bother me. We can have, they're here for an economic argument. No, they are not. No, they're white supremacists, and if you're on their side, you should probably give their head a shake, there, son. And the part where that white economic anxiety can be treated as an excuse for racism is really disturbing. That's a new low. I don't think that we. I didn't mean to make you choke there.
No. That was Jesus doing that.
Oh.
No, when I was a kid.
Choke me, Sky Daddy. Choke me, Sky Daddy.
Right. When I was a kid, that was 17 years old. It was the first time I ever, found out that there were actually still Nazis in the world. And these kids that I went to high school with, a bunch of them turned into Nazi skinheads, and they weren't unsavable. They all kind of came out of it, but they went down that fucking rabbit hole, and I was really surprised by it, and I was like, how did you guys wind up here? And they were talking about it, and it was economic. It was but it was really weak at the time. But I could see the seeds for that. They would look at, point at the A&W and be like, that Chinese guy working there, well, he's got a white job. Like, that's not a white job. You don't even did you apply for that fucking job? Because I bet you didn't. I bet you're too fucking good. Well, I'm not working at an A&W, but it should have been a white guy. You're like, but that economic piece, that's a foothold, right? Because they can be like, okay, so here's the thing, these people taking our jobs, these people, lowering our standards of pay and all this stuff. Like, it's the way that this economic base has come about. I wasn't expecting, but appealing to, because this is the thing, is white supremacy has always been a tool of rich people to empower dumb, poor white people to be their foot soldiers. I mean, that's, these are just brass tacks. And so to see economic terms there, and the idea that the only reason that you're not a rich and powerful honky is because of the other folk, that's not a shock. But yeah, even at that, like the way this whole rise and the snakiness of the fucking alt-right has just been it's been appalling and yet so almost elegant, watching them pervade all of these weird online spaces you'd never think of, stay-at-home mom groups are fucking foundations of white supremacist thought. And the anti-vax movement became the monster that it is, and the birthing of QAnon and all this shit. Like, it's just, what the fuck is going on? And that, yeah, you're absolutely right. It spreads like a virus because it's host to host.
It is, and it's all it's mainstreamed now. It's been
Yeah.
given mainstream recognition, and that's where it it's come out of its box. The old piss poor, that should be a white person doing that job. I think I'm too good for,
Mm-hmm.
that was easy to laugh off. That was easy to debunk. Now it's given mainstream credibility,
Yeah.
and to the point where you've got literal white supremacists marching without masks on. They're not hiding their faces anymore.
Yep.
In Canadian cities. I mean, we're not even talking about Georgia or we're not talking about Florida. We're not talking about Mississippi, where they still have the Confederate flag as a part of their state flag. We're talking about Canada, where we kind of like the idea of being nice to each other, I would think.
We kind of do. But at the same time, like, we've built systems around that, right? And I'm bringing forth the specter of systemic racism, because it's real and it's there, and but it is like, it's fucking weird being a Canadian right now, because I do think of Canadians, even though, like, this is purely a white middle class male perspective. But I think of Canadians as being, like, good people that'll say sorry when they bump into you, and if they recognize a problem, they'll be like, "That's a problem. I should help." And that's so not the world I'm seeing. Did you freeze? I think you froze.
No, I didn't freeze. That was just a showstopper.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right,
Because you were perfectly motionless, and I was like, "Fucking Facebook, what the hell?"
I was waiting for you to be like, mic
Mic
drop.
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can't
that was
afford
actually
microphones.
that was a zip tie that was on the bar. So it's not really a microphone. I wouldn't drop a microphone. That's rude.
Oh yeah,
They're delicate creatures.
And what have they ever done to us besides occasionally, punch our teeth out?
It's when it's an ungrounded source for the power supply that gets you in the lip.
Yep, I've been there many a time.
I did not. I feel bad now because I have taken that zap at Burns, and now I feel like I just attacked Clint, and I want Clint. I'm sorry, Clint. That was not directed at you. It hurts, but that was not directed at you.
I feel, of all the, like, I've had it happen to me at Burns for sure, but I feel like there are so many worse places, because, like, Clint at least tries to keep up with, make sure his gear's in working order, make sure that he's put in the due diligence in. I've been to places like the Ironwood, man. When the one show that I played, the Ironwood, they brought an alcohol swab out, and this is non-COVID. This was way before there was even a COVID consideration in anyone's head. Homeboy came out and was like cleaning the microphone off between artists with an alcohol swab, and I was like, "Dude, that's awesome!" And he goes, "Yeah, man. You ever smell one of these things?" I was like, "Yeah," and, like, good. But most of the places that we play shows, it's like, you're grabbing a microphone, it's all bent to fuck from everyone that slammed it on the ground. You put it next to your mouth, and you get a little zap, and always on the bottom lip, right?
So, at John, the bass player in Sedition Choir, he had a metal band called Candaria with Jeremy, who also played in Sedition Choir, and John's amp blew the fuse for half of Burns one time. They started their set, and he hit the big slap on his monster 19-string bass, and half the bar goes dark, and his amp turns off, and he looks at the singer, and he's ready to punch him because he thinks, "Oh well, he stepped on the power supply on my pedal board and turned my pedals."
Yep.
So it's immediately goes to blame the singer. Like, he didn't even pull the classic bass player move, which is blame the drummer. He went straight for the singer, which I think is a better move in general.
It's a classy move, right? It's a classy and probably more accurate.
Yeah, and singers should just have things thrown at them.
Yeah. As a guy who's been a singer, I'm not gonna lie, you're not wrong.
How does a singer change a light bulb, Jim?
If I know the answer to this one, it would be one to hold the light bulb and the entire world to spin around him.
Yeah, that's right. Just holds up his or her hand and the whole world revolves around them. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
How do you know when a singer's knocking on your door?
I give up.
You yell twice, but they can't find the key and don't know when to come in.
How do you know when a drummer's knocking on your door?
There's no rhythm and they come in too early.
Just speeds up. Oh man, I love musician jokes. One of my favorites is because of being a bass player is what do you call a bass player without a girlfriend?
Homeless. Yeah. How can you tell the future trombone player on the playground? Can't swing and they're afraid to use the slide.
The funny thing is, you can now buy, and I don't know if this is new or not, but it's new to me. You can buy like valve trombones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's just a big ass trumpet.
Yeah. At that point, you're just kidding yourself.
It's just when you tune your guitar with a low B string, it's called a baritone. Why don't we just call it a baritone trumpet?
Yeah. That's just being a schmuck.
It's a trombaritone. There you go.
Yeah. The other thing that's cool that I didn't know, when I got my trumpet, my kiddo's got her trombone. We decided.
I insulted your kid. That's hilarious.
What's that?
I insulted your kid. That's rude of me.
She's got a thick skin. She's my kid. She's hard as fuck.
Okay.
But yeah. So we switched mouthpieces, like not me playing on her mouthpiece, but like put a trombone mouthpiece on a trumpet, and it's eerily surprising how much sound changes. Like it sounds like you're playing a trumpet if you're playing a trombone with a trumpet mouthpiece.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
They make a slide trumpet too. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
That feels like just like a awkward metal slide whistle.
Yeah, it looks like it too.
Yeah. I don't think I would want to play that just because I would want to also look at myself in the mirror the next day.
There is there's probably a conversation with toxic masculinity wrapped up in that, but I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah. This is I feel like this is one of the areas where maybe sometimes it's okay to poke one of people with slide trumpets.
There is progress that needs to be made generationally. Otherwise, you can't make the great leap. It's not going to work. So, I will move to that we stop doing certain toxic things as dudes, but then we can still make fun of the slide trumpet.
Yeah, I feel like
that can be for future generations.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with being used in this as an example of how not to behave in like 2060. Like, can you believe how barbaric this guy was? He was afraid to play a slide trumpet.
I can't wait to 30 years from now, my grandkids will be like, my kids will be like, oh, it's Christmas, we got to go to old creepy dad's house, and so you can tell the grandkids that it's unnatural for a trumpet to have a slide on it. God, I just wish he would grow up.
Yeah, we'll have had all those years to try and figure it out for ourselves too, so we can do that. We can improve. as long as we're willing to recognize and so
Yeah, 100% agree.
yeah.
I personally think that's one of the things that is most heartening. Not about our generation, because there's a lot of shit in our generation, but the fact that there are people in the world, and that they're not a small number, who are able to look at these things and challenge their own direction and say, like, I've always thought these things, but maybe that's not cool. Maybe I need to, do a little bit better and get a little bit more information about the world. I just think that's really fucking awesome.
I'm sure I have some backwards ass nonsense going on in my noggin, and all I can say is that I want to be able to, when called out upon it, not react with my primitive brain and have the fear, anger. I'm gonna attack and I will defend that. So
Yeah.
That's been an ongoing thing where I try to.
Oh, absolutely, man. I've
Not be a caveman.
Yeah, the first time that I said something stupid, and then we're talking a few years back. Not the first time I ever said something stupid, because fuck, I was born saying stupid shit. But the first time somebody,
talking when you were born?
what's that?
You were speaking when you were born?
Oh yeah, my first words were fucking Winnipeg.
It's a lot of people's, like, the last thing they just said. It was that. So yeah, a lot of people.
Absolutely. I made a difference though. I was like, I did a 2-year campaign. We need to get the fuck out of here. And by the time I turned 2, moved to Calgary. But yeah, no. The first time that I got called out for saying something, and it was one of those things where it's like, whatever it was I said, and I don't know what it was, but I was like, this is a thing that's always been okay for me to say, you big stupid, dumb, stupid. And then I got the reply from, a couple of people that were like, dude, that doesn't change the fact that what you said was dumb. And I was like, ooh, you are correct. I said a dumb thing, and there's a lesson here. And that sucked. And every time after that, it sucks less. So now if I say a dumb thing and someone's like, what are you doing? I'll be like, yes, I did dumb. I will be better.
Yeah. And I think that that sort of reaction, you need to be confronted by someone whose respect you don't want to lose. And that's going to trigger that response in you, right? I mean, if that response is coming from someone you personally look down upon, you're not necessarily going to be all that inclined to recognize it. Are you going to check your rights again right now?
No, I'm smoking.
You're smoking.
I'm going to go for smoke. I don't smoke in my house.
Okay. That's somewhat kind of you.
It's not a question of kindness. I don't want my house to stink like cigarettes. Cigarettes are fucking gross, man. I don't know if you know that.
I do, yeah.
Turns out, Jim, I'm familiar with this.
Yeah, yeah. These experience points in my beard here that you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember being able to smoke in bars.
Oh, yes. I had a cigarette or two in a bar in my time, but
yeah,
always lawfully.
Yeah.
That's not at all true. I used to smoke in bars illegally all the time because I was a gangsta.
Is it cold out there?
Not really. It's we had like a huge dump of snow, and then we had like a bit of, it wasn't very nice out, but it wasn't like super cold. Didn't get any more snow, and then we had a little tiny dusting of snow for a couple days, the last little bit, but it's warming up now, so I think we're having a Chinook or something, but
all right.
Yeah, I'm assuming in the land of the lotus eaters, it's probably what, like 70 above, and just people spontaneously bursting into flame from the heat.
No, we are still in. It's still wintering on the island for another at least 9-10 hours.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
9 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
I do.
It doesn't
What's that?
become spring at midnight on February 1st. You know, that would be arrogant.
I I do have respect though for that whole it's a wet cold thing, which as a Calgarian I was always like fuck off. And then I happened to be in Vancouver in the winter, and I was like, oh, this is real.
Oh no, it gets into your bones. There's no question. And the fog. If you didn't grow up in the fog, it doesn't feel like a nice warm hug. You know it.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's like, oh, that's nice. It feels like it's a nice warm thing. You know, oh, what are the mountains hiding right now? So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the look of fog. You know, whatever fog we get here in Calgary is not quite the same thing at all. But it's the fog in Vancouver, even in the summer. Like if you get a super foggy day, it doesn't matter that it's 25 above out. You walk around and you're just like, fuck, it's cold.
No, if it's 25 above, it's burning off in a desperate hurry. You know, so it's only in the morning. You know, you might have to use the wiper twice in the morning, but yeah. No, the thing, living in Calgary, everyone made fun of the island and the West Coast for being unable to drive in the snow, but then every May long weekend when there's that giant wet snowstorm and several hundred accidents in Calgary in rush hour because no one thinks that the slippery stuff is going to behave differently. That is the only snow that happens on the West Coast. It's the only snow. It's always that wet, slippery, that wet, slippery stuff that causes hundreds of accidents in Calgary. Plus, there's hills.
Yep.
So, plus, literally, there are hills. Something you flatlanders. A hill is a steep thing. And there's a road that goes down that steep thing. So,
but why would they do that, Pat?
Well, you see, long ago there was this thing called plate tectonics, and it resulted in pointy, curvy bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting because here in Calgary we don't have mountains.
Okay, you've responded to my smarminess with smarminess. I see your smarm, and I call. Yeah.
Excellent. I will cheers you when I get back inside.
Feeling lucky, are you?
I'm always feeling lucky.
Oh, damn it! Oh, I missed the opportunity there. Feeling lucky, punk?
You feeling lucky, punk?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about this, but I'm in the midst of with another buddy of mine writing a cop movie based entirely on my haircut.
Dutch O'Banion.
That's right.
Can I be the bad guy?
I think Mark is the bad guy, but we're doing three of them, so
He's
you never know.
Ugly.
He is, but if challenged, he has a rage inside of him that can be daunting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A rage, you say? I wouldn't think
true.
that of a citizen like him.
No, it's a very, very strange thing to imagine, but I've seen it. Okay. Actually, the funny thing is that just immediately made me think of do you remember Norm from Frightenstein?
Probably.
Norm is like the gentlest soul on earth. He's a giant of a man, but just super gentle.
Yes. Yeah.
A gentle giant, as you were. And I saw him angry once, and I'll tell you, like, us gentle folk scare the shit out of people when we get mad. Mark,
keep that rage on a slow simmer. Let it out a little bit now and then.
just like a crock pot, not a crock pot, pressure cooker.
Pressure cooker.
Yeah, I have not.
Killer bear.
I have not seen a pressure cooker in a very long time, but my parents used to like use one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I never understood. And then I saw videos on Facebook of what happens if you don't do right by your pressure cooker. Turns out it's legit.
Yeah.
Just gonna quickly brag about this. Look at this. Look at this.
What you got? What you got?
That's some pork chops with vegetables in a peanut satay sauce. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it smells fucking good.
I saw it, but I didn't get enough of a look of it. I mean, you know, something's pressing against my zipper because that looked good.
Yeah, I do cook well. You know,
Right.
you don't get a body like this without cooking well.
Oh, you go. Clink, clink. Yeah.
That's the most cheersing I've done in a very long time. I think the last time I had like a cheers would have been probably with you.
Yeah.
I've obviously had beers since then, but no, that can't be true. That can't be true. I've been in bars.
Don't do that.
Well, when so this was the catch-22, right? So when they reopened bars, like I actually played a gig, and my thought process on it was this: I knew that we were not going to draw more than 10 people, and sure enough, we did not. I think it was like 10 or 12 were in. It was at Vern's, and I struggled with the idea. They'd gone to a great deal of precautions, like there was shower curtains all around the stage and stuff. Like it was very different kind of environment. But really, it was about like Clint needs money, and even if it's just me fucking drinking in his bar, he needs some money. And so I definitely when the lockdown was not as locky downy, I went to Vern's a few times to make sure that I supported the Wookiee. But I mean, I was smart about it. I wore a mask. The whole nine. I
Mask
get
it or
it.
casket, Karen.
What's that?
Mask it or casket, Karen.
Fuck yeah, I'm
Yeah.
100%. And as soon as I started wearing masks, there's that first like little while where it feels really weird, and like when you see all the people wearing masks, you're like, what the fuck is with the world? And then it just becomes normal, and the new normal. And now I'm like, why was I ever fucking not wearing a mask? I don't want people coughing the fuck on me. Like, no, I'm good. I'm happy with masks.
Yeah. I've worn a mask for work, for particulate debris for a long time, so that part didn't bother me. In April I went out to Saskatoon and did a cable splice, and in the kit of supplies there was a proper N95 mask for keeping the cross-linked polyethylene insulation dust from getting into your breathy holes. And so I, after finishing the cable splice, I conveniently pocketed that. And because you couldn't find them anywhere, since grabbing that, I have not been inside another building that isn't my house without wearing a mask since April. And I have to say, it doesn't bug me in the slightest. And I mean, if I've forgotten it for some reason, I haven't. If I do forget it for some reason, when I go down to get the groceries or something like that, that would be an irritation. But it's really not a hardship. And I remember early on with it, people were like, "Oh, well, the mask only protects other people." Okay, well, then I'll happily wear it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. But then it turns out that it protects you too. Of course it does. The virus particle is much bigger than an oxygen particle, so you're not suffocating. It's gonna, it's it's going to catch their grabby bits and be like, no, you're not coming through. So, stop that. Right.
I remember a bunch of years ago, I was watching some TV program, and there was someone on who they were talking about condoms, and whoever this person was like, condoms are stupid because if you ever look at under a magnifying glass, like they've done this, the pores in the latex are bigger than sperm. So, guaranteed, if you have sex with a condom, you're not actually able to. It's like standing in front of a wire fence in a gunfight. To which I thought, first off, you're fucking stupid. Like that's not even true. But second off, if that was the only protection available to you in this alleged gunfight and there was a wire fence, I'd be standing behind the fucking wire fence just because maybe it's like the 1 in a million shot where I don't get killed. I look at masks the same way. Like if it was just to save me, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm expendable and worthless, and I have all kinds of inner demons that I can, whatever. But the minute that it's like, oh, okay, the mask is for other people, well, I'm wearing a fucking mask, like I'm not a dick.
Yeah, it's shocking that there are so many people that feel put out by it somehow. That it's this is you're treading on me with the snaky flag.
Yeah, my freedom. Like, dude, what the fuck are you even on about? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do the shutting up. But,
yeah,
and it's probably the case that there are fewer of those people out there than are represented on social media but they're just the loudest. They're like the squeakiest wheel. Like they're missing the bearings and it's dry and rusty and they're suddenly it's turning and turning and turning. But yeah, it really
and thinking about like the song that we were talking about with the concept of divisiveness, like the thing that struck me most with this whole mask debate, which shouldn't even be a fucking debate, was the callousness of people who are like, well, yeah, I mean, like if you've got a condition where you could die, like maybe you need to never leave your house again. Why should I be infringed upon? Like, dude, we're a fucking social species. We live in a world where we do make choices to,
Yeah, I my kids don't have a peanut allergy. I'm still not. Even if it was okay to send peanuts to school with them, I wouldn't because there are kids with peanut allergies. They
totally.
My kids don't have it, but well, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, and you sure as shit wouldn't be walking around hucking peanuts at people, going, "My freedoms."
It is my freedom to throw a peanut.
Yeah, I mean, like that's in the Constitution of Canada. It's the 42nd Amendment.
Commandment, actually. It's the 42nd Commandment. Those are amendments based on commandments, which
yes,
those were the addendum commandments that I think it was Jonas that he brought down from the pyramid. Jonas brought it down from the pyramid.
Yeah.
The commandments that were addendums to the commandments, he brought those down, and I think he got smashed while he was he got smashed while reading those out there. And that is particularly the Jonas that Weezer sung about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a religious scholar, and I can attest to everything you're saying.
It's a scientific fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite of those things, though, of all of the ridiculous religious stuff in the world, my absolute favorite is the particular part of the Doctrine and Covenants of the Mormon Church that deals with plural marriage. It is the greatest bit of thing ever. Are you familiar with it?
No, I'm terrified and excited all at the same time.
So to set the stage, we know Joseph Smith. We know there was he was getting a direct pipeline from God. God would tell him all the cool stuff that
he had the
wanted.
glasses.
He had the glasses and the
He had glasses.
hat full of sand or whatever the fuck. Um, this particular, yeah, exactly, right, the Joe Smiths. So this particular piece of the Doctrine and Covenants is a direct revelation from God, but this one is not speaking to the people. It's speaking specifically to Emma Smith, the wife of Joseph Smith. And it reads approximately thusly: Hey, Emma, it's me, God. I promise. Now, I hear that you don't want Joseph fucking other women. And I get that. I do. But I, God, command it. And you have to be okay with it. This is what we call fairsies. And since I am clearly God speaking through your husband, who is just a vessel and not controlling the pen at all, he's going to need to fuck some other women. Amazing. Amazing. Can you imagine trying to fucking pass that off? Like, hey, honey, I got this letter that I wrote, but it wasn't me, it was God. So, what do you say? I feel like I know how that would end for me. I mean, if there was an Emma Smith in my life.
Yeah, I'm hoping my wife didn't overhear any of that just now.
This is a great idea. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is that Mormon sect up near Creston. Bountiful, yeah, Bountiful. Yeah, just disturbing.
That's the fundamentalist Mormons. And there's a book that I read a long time ago called Under the Banner of Heaven, I think is the name of the book. And it's actually a guy who is exploring Mormonism and not exploring it like, hey, I should sign up, but exploring it like, wow, these people are fucking insane and the world needs to know. Because that's the thing, right? They go to your door and they're like, oh, guy, can I shovel your walk? I don't want to even preach to you. I mean, maybe I'll say a prayer or something, but that's it. We're all about community. We're all about service. We're all about traditional things that, the world's missing. And dumb people, religious people, that was unfair of me. Religious people will be like, what a swell group. I appreciate. I, too, believe that community values are a thing of the past and should be brought back. I, too, believe in the importance of family, and I never would have thought I'd say this before, but I'm curious. And it's years before they find out that they have to wear fucking magic underpants in order to go to their space land where they're either going to be a space whore or a space stud. If they led with that, if they were just like, hey, I'm glad you opened the door. Would you like to be a space whore? It's probably not going to go well.
Reminds me of
the alt-right.
No, I was going Scientology with this.
Yep.
I went inside the big the main Scientology church on Sunset Boulevard, or on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah,
they had some very, very nice people there outside, just wanting to give me a free personality test.
Yep.
And so I looked at my shoes and I was like, are they laced up? Like, how easy are these for a stranger to slip off right now and steal them? Because that's the move. It's to, they go all moody on you, right? They yank.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So there's me, and just my sick sense of humor. I'm like, yeah, I'll come inside. Let's talk about this
I'm
test.
very interested in
I
what y'all
didn't
have
get
to
past
say.
the foyer. I was just, but it was fun, and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, when Mormonism isn't crazy enough for you, there's always Scientology.
Oh yeah, like in Mormonism, you end up in the stars. Scientology, the whole story starts with a fucking science fiction novel, and it's like, so this is the greatest story ever told. And then you hear all the shit that L. Ron Hubbard said and did, and you're like, no, this is a holy man. He got kicked out of England. How hard do you have to fucking work to get kicked out of England? He lived on a boat for a while.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. We have a country called Australia. So
Yeah, but they stopped doing that. Yeah, they stopped doing that when the people they sent there kept making babies with brown people. So they were like, oh, we need to stop this right now.
Yeah, but also, does Australia really exist? I mean, the bar I'm at is flat. Doesn't that mean
Yeah,
the
and
entire
that's the
Earth is
thing.
flat and Australia is made up?
Yeah, and like I'm just
checkmate.
I'm not saying the Earth is flat. I'm just saying I'm open to the
Checkmate, round earther.
conversation. I'm just open to
Round earther.
conversation, guy. Fuck. I can't believe we live in a fucking world where we're having to explain that the world is fucking like 200 years before Jesus. They knew the world well. Some people knew the world wasn't fucking flat, and yet here's modern day rappers who've been around the fucking world. Well, I don't believe in it. You don't have to, motherfucker. The pilot did.
Yes. Have you seen that Netflix show Behind the Curve?
No.
Oh, Jim.
Is
James.
it sappy?
Handsome Jim. You got to watch this one. It's so good.
Is it sassy or is it like ancient aliens?
No, it's a documentary about flat earthers, and
Okay.
The end of it is spectacular. I'm going to spoil it for you right now, but it's still going to be worth watching.
Is it the Earth is round?
They devise an experiment where they're going to shine a light from one point on the Los Angeles River Basin, and if the Earth is flat, because they're measuring a certain height above sea level, the light is going to shine through a hole in this board and go on to a third board. So you've got 3 points. Shine the light, the intersection point where the middle point where the light's going to shine through, and then the end point where it's going to appear on this board. They're going to shine it. So they've got a high-powered laser that's going to create this, and they've kept all of them are the same height above sea level, and they're a certain distance apart that will account for the curvature of the Earth. They do this, and they say, okay, so we're going to shine this. If the Earth is flat, we're going to see it here. If the Earth is round, and the way that these scientists say it's round, we will not see this until we raise the first point a certain amount. And then once we do, then because of the curvature of the Earth, it would allow a straight line to be between this height, the center point, and this height above.
Yes.
Above there. So they shine the light and nothing. And then they raise the thing to the point where science says that it'll work. Science. And there's the beam of light right on the board. They all of them talking about how if the light comes through when they've raised the light, they'll be believers in the round Earth. And then they see it and they're like, oh, we must have done something wrong.
Yeah. That's the beauty of modern thought, is the get out of jail free card, right?
Mm.
Like no matter even fucking the JWs in the 70s had their like, the world is going to end, the rapture is coming, and they sold all their shit and they stood in the fucking hills waiting for the Jesus call. And it's like, yep, it's gonna be like I don't remember the particulars, but like June 13th at noon, we're gonna get raptured. And so they're standing there and they're singing their fucking Christian songs and jingling away. And then like, the time comes and it passes and keeps on
Yeah.
passing. And I want to know what it's like in that moment where you're like, huh, this really isn't happening. And the logic of being able to go, oh, I must have not carried the one, instead of maybe everything I've based this on was false. Like I wish I could be that naive, right? Life would be so easy.
Hey, we all have things we want to truly believe. It's just, I super duper want to believe something or other. I don't know. I don't have anything to articulate on that subject at this point.
I honestly, I can't think of anything. Like everything that pops into my head, like I want to believe in the general goodness of people. But as soon as I say that, I'm like, fool. Anti-maskers win. You know what I mean? Like it's, I think I'm suitably jaded now where there's nothing that I can believe in. And maybe that's the Gen X in me, but like there is nothing that I can think of that I actually believe, aside from like, the sun will rise tomorrow, because unless the entire world explodes and, or the sun explodes or something, like, this is just a fact of science. That's just how it is. It's not belief. It's like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. There are smaller things I'd like to believe in. I don't know. But it's when presented with facts that can be verified. How stringently do you cling to your belief? So,
Yeah.
damn it! Oh, damn it! And back to the song. It's part of the first verse. It's what is that? It's so persuasive that facts succumb to belief.
Yep.
He's got a weaponized amygdala and he's armed to the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. But you got that. You wind up with that weaponized primitive brain that's been just sicked on everyone, and now they're out in the streets and they're protesting at City Hall in Calgary, right? So
yeah.
But it's a dry hate. It's a dry
heat. It's a dry heat, yeah, which makes all the difference. Makes it,
it does. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool because like, yeah, we've got we're setting fire to things, but like we actually have homeopaths on standby. And they've been working on succussing a lot of water to be a good cure for the fire, so it'll work out.
Yeah.
This is such a wacky, and you know what? I'm gonna correct myself, because the things that I believe in, like I believe in you. I see Reno's watching. Reno is the drummer in my band Bodies of Everest. I believe in Reno. I believe in like the small group of people, and maybe this is because I'm like, I've got the small monkey brain, and I'm just like, I can believe it if I can see it and know that it's real. I've seen you guys. I know you're real, and I believe in that, and I'll stake that to the fucking end of the earth. But that's kind of where that ends. I have no faith in humanity. I have no faith in God. I have no, and I used to. I was a good Christian boy. Born and raised on the playground with Jesus is where I spend most of my days.
Oh, but then, there's a couple of Mormons who are up to no good.
Started preaching scripture in my neighborhood.
Yeah, he got one little plural marriage, and mom got scared. Yeah.
Oh my God, we could probably write that entire fucking song.
I'd say
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm really sorry. You were having you were having a little epiphany there. I poured about believing in people. I poured myself a drink while you were doing that.
No,
So,
by all means.
I want to
By all
shatter
means.
your belief in
Oh.
at least me.
Because I'll tell you, I don't drink the alcohol. No, but my point was like I was a good kid and I believed what I was told, and that so I can kind of understand when people have trouble walking away, because it was not an easy decision for me to finally embrace the fact that I did not believe anymore, because there was fear, there was that sense of like, fuck, if I say these words out loud, what happens to me? And like that's scary. And so I get it and I respect it for people, but there's also that point where like, okay, the more stupid they keep piling on, and like whether you're talking religion or you're talking about, the anti-mask thing, and how we start just stacking stupid on top of stupid, and patriotism, and all of a sudden you're a fucking Nazi. Like there's an end game here.
Yeah.
And at some point you have to be able to say, I don't care what it means, I'm wrong, and I'm walking the fuck away. Like, and I get that that's scary, but it was scary for me. It was scary for a lot of people. Get the fuck over it. Not you. You're good.
I guess I am fairly appreciative of the fact that I was raised with absolutely no religion whatsoever. There was this Jesus camp down the street from me that I went to one time. I think it's just because my mom wanted me and my sister to fuck off and go somewhere.
Yeah.
So we got to go to this Jesus camp, and then she was like, "Oh, so what happened?" It's like, "Oh, well, we read this thing about something or other," and then after that, she was like, "Yeah, I don't think you're going there anymore." But no, essentially, mom just wanted us to go away, and there was a Bible camp next door to the cabin that we used to go to growing up, and all of the people that worked there were just horrible assholes. So
yep.
that really helped, put a foul taste in my mouth. Before I knew anything about what they were saying, I knew that they were dickweeds. So that helped put the being thrown out of the little general store for wearing an Ozzy Osbourne shirt when I was 13, because we don't serve Satanists in here. I don't know why he sounds like he's from Georgia, but he didn't at the time. No, but we don't serve Satanists. It's Ozzy, dude. I'm 12 and I know that it's that it's performative nihilism. Come on, go away.
Totally. My similar kind of moment was so I have a very like evangelical Christian uncle, and he was my dentist, so you can tell I see him a lot. And hi-yo. He was my dentist, and my buddy, for my 13th birthday, my buddy Ian bought me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game. So like D&D, but TMNT. It was so fucking awesome. Right? Such a good game. And it was amazing. And I had the book with me, and I went for a dentist appointment. As I'm sitting in the chair waiting for him, I'm like reading this book. And then he comes in the room, and I put it on my chest, because like where else am I gonna I'm lying in a chair. And he's one of those guys who gets his hands in your mouth and then wants to have a conversation with you. So he's like, reaches into your face, and he's like, that book there, that's the devil. And that book will make you into a Satanist. And you will probably kill your mother and your father and maybe rape them after they're dead. And I'm like, I don't fucking think it's going to do that. I'm very sure that you're wrong. Like, but you can't defend yourself in that situation. But yeah, like,
you can just bite.
But even he's got the gum, right? You can't.
Yeah. Just wait for the right angle, and you know what, Knuckles? We're gonna reduce the ratio of Knuckles to on your left hand there.
And if the earth is flat, when I move my head and bite down, you will not get hurt, sir.
There we go.
It just fucking, it's a head scratcher. Like I listened to this thing today. I watched a lot of YouTube during the pandemic. That's been a new thing. And I was watching this debate between Vaush, who is a anarchist,
Yeah.
rad motherfucker. Are you familiar with him?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it was him and a guy who was denying that climate change was real.
Neat.
And I'm listening, and the guy said things like, at one point he's like, well, I live in Indonesia, and here in Indonesia it's very warm, and I think that people, who find it cold sometimes will be okay with it being warmer like Indonesia. And I'm like, this is your thought process? Like, maybe global warming will just give us a better tan here in the fucking Antarctica. Like, literally, like, how are you breathing? How did you manage to put pants on?
It's been the whole climate change or global warming debate, and it pisses me off that we're not allowed to say global warming. We had to change it because Jim Imhoff brought a snowball into Congress. Well, how come it got cold? It's called winter.
Yeah. Turns out we've seen this before, this crazy winter thing.
Because of that, because you're dealing with this lizard brain in the back of the noggin that says, it absolutely has to be so apparent that, or I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah.
The part where the people that don't disbelieve science as a rule changed the way we were going to describe it as a response to that. That's why we lose, because it's like, we back down. Okay, all right, no, it's not global warming. It's climate change. No, it's a warming of the average temperature of the Earth. So it's a global warming.
Yeah. And yeah, like that pisses me off.
So many of these people just respond to the tough guy argument. They want to see, so many supporters of the James Imhoff and the Premier Randy Bobandy, Jason Kenney, and the Trump handsy. They want to see a tough guy as their leader, because it's, oh no, he's going to fight for me. It's like, no, none of them are. Absolutely none of them are fighting for you. Not a single. No.
They will fight.
They can't wait to fleece you and take your money, and nothing. It's never been more apparent than that Trump was raising money on the Georgia Senate races.
Mm-hmm.
But the money wasn't going to either of the candidates from Georgia, but he was still, it's just,
Yep.
You gotta help me in Georgia. I don't know. That was not, that was more Arnold Schwarzenegger than Trump, but
You have to help me in Georgia.
Yeah.
Get to the Georgia.
We're going to win in Georgia. Be blitzkrieg and get down.
If not the runoff.
Yeah. So, but it was so blatant. It's in the fine print of it, but just fleece the supporters. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. We've got to pay Rudy's $20,000 a day legal bills. Of course, he's not going to pay them. And
yep.
Mike Shodden has never Freuded harder than when I heard that Rudy Giuliani was getting stiffed on his legal bills.
I seriously, I've had an erection for days as a result of that.
Stop! My penis can only get so erect.
Yeah. My to me, the single, like, peak white supremacy, the single thing that most envelops what white supremacy is, was a rich, powerful man talking to a crowd of people saying, "Let's all go over there and fuck shit up. I'll be right with you."
Yeah,
and then not fucking coming and letting them fucking hang. Like,
just yeah,
that
and
is white
and
supremacy.
literally, like when he was running for president, he was like, "I'll pay your legal bills if you kick that guy's ass."
Yep.
And now it's like literally people are going in there and well, he still had the unfettered power to pardon them. Like he had that for 13 days. He could have pardoned all those people.
Yep.
Yeah, send me an email. You're going to get a pardon because you did the thing I asked you to do.
Yep.
No one got the pardon.
Well, and like
they're
that to
they're on the
me.
no-fly list.
Oh yeah. To me, that was the most obvious thing, because like the thing that no one, this is why Keystone XL didn't go through, and why, like, personally, I don't think it should have gone through. I'm not against pipelines, but that was a stupid pipeline because America doesn't want our oil.
Yeah.
But like Keystone XL, all of these people, like so many fucking issues, all come down to there's a performative factor of Trump will stand there and say the nice things and feel really good about saying the nice things, and everyone will go, "What a great man he is."
He says the best nice things. No one says
Yeah,
better nice things.
he's got the best
He's got the
words.
best nice things to say. No one's ever had as many better nice things to say. It's bigly. It's nice.
But the thing that goes with that is the man's a fucking narcissist. He's not going to put effort, even minuscule effort, into anything that doesn't make his life better. And spending the time to write his name on all of these executive pardons, what's the point? Those fucking people should have known better. I don't fucking care, whatever. Like, literally, his base should literally be looking at him and going, I made a mistake. And they can't. They simply
No.
can't. Just double down time.
But it's all that QAnon crap that got into their brain. You know, they're so deeply invested. How do you come back from baby eaters in a pizza place?
Yeah.
How?
And the map.
It's called deprogramming. It needs to happen.
Yeah. It's literally, you know, when you talk to people now and you talk about the satanic panic, there's, if you know, if they're of that generation that was, you know, slightly older than us, there's a good chance they'll be like, oh yeah, Satan, he was all over the earth. He was doing child abuse against children. I don't remember the details. I kind of stopped paying attention after a while, but I remember it being a really big deal. And this is going to be QAnon. There will be people who will be like, yeah, I heard that our John F. Kennedy Jr. No, it was sorry, dealing with my child for a second. I heard that who is it? Was it JFK that faked his death along with Queen Lady?
No, it was Elvis.
Diana? Literally, like everyone, QAnon has their giant like maze of correctness, and it's stunning how much fucking like you have to have. It's not even drinking the Kool-Aid. It's literally like being boarded by sugar water, and when the drip stops and they're going to be looking around, like, how do you get back from going that far down that many rabbit holes? I don't get it.
Yeah. There's so many points of entry. There's so many ways into this crap. But you know, it's like all roads lead to Rome. They all lead to let's hate some Jews.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, they all, it's, are you a men's rights activist who decides that Jordan Peterson is your thing, or is it that you're a wellness mom who wants to know that all you need is the proper distillation process for water and you can cure cancer, or
Yep.
or is it the economic insecurity of the blue collar worker? All of these roads lead to the lead to white supremacy, and then all of a sudden you're all the way. And I mean, they're the way that 9/11 trutherism got co-opted by the right. It used to be a left-wing thing. It's jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Like, no, but there's a lot of weight on top of that building. So when you heat it up, it's going to compromise the structural integrity, and maybe it's going to come down.
Yep.
It's yeah.
Yep.
What about Building 7? They shouldn't have stored barrels of gasoline there.
Yeah. Turns out that was a bad choice.
Yeah. Well, what about this? And then it gets then the stuff gets even worse and worse. I said, well, yeah, but
Then they're pulling the like, but if you put all of the visible pieces of the wing structure together from the Pentagon strike, you don't get a plane, you get a missile. The fuck are you on about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that gets borrowed and just sort of Alex Jones into things, and all of a sudden you're buying chicken bone broth because so he can keep his enterprise running.
Yep.
But
I feel like though, like that was the single greatest effective decision made by those shitty alt-right guys is they figured out that Nazi skinheads and hammer skins and all that shit, no one was like you're gonna always have a certain disenfranchised chunk of the population, but your John Q public couldn't buy into that. And I really believe, we were talking about like the Mormons and the JWs earlier. I believe that someone watched how that works and how it starts with community values and family values, and then all of a sudden you're going to space Jesus land where you get to have an army of concubines. You're like, how the fuck did this even happen? And the alt-right guys were like, there's something here. And so they started fanning out across the internet. Anytime anyone said anything remotely dumb, they were there with their flashlight aimed at Jews, going, it's not, we're not anti-Semites. We just think that, as a parent, you should be allowed to decide if you want to vaccinate your child. Not even that you're against it, but just maybe not all at once. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many fucking slithery tongues in so many ears. And as you said, all roads lead to Rome, right? There's this fucking path that they all converge.
All of it's it becomes the protocols of the elders of Zion nonsense, right? So it's just going after people's anxiety. What are you nervous about? Well, I got a boogeyman for you. I got someone you can blame this on, right?
Absolutely.
But it's never the part where you have it's never going to be the people that are making money off of you having really low wages.
Yes.
No one's ever going after the Waltons. That
never
happened.
Or the Pfizer family.
Or Pfizer.
Purdue? No, that's
Purdue Pharma, and they're the ones that created the OxyContin. What's the Sacklers?
Yes, the Sacklers. Yes,
Sackler family. Yeah.
Terrible fact.
Yeah, and they siphoned all the money out of Purdue Pharma.
Yep.
And then Purdue Pharma is going to be able to go bankrupt. Well, they've already got the money out, and but it's never pointed at them. It's never,
because the corporation's a person, and I'm not that corporation.
No.
Yeah, it's it like this should be fucking obvious. We shouldn't have to have a world where people like fall for this shit. But here we are.
We sound batshit crazy. Like, what are these guys on about?
Yep.
To people who know that their pizza place was making sure that the lizard people
Mhm.
were able to drink the toenail puree from the firstborn sons of firstborn
Obviously.
sons.
Yeah, obviously.
And Jim, how can we deny that's really the case?
Right, exactly.
The toenail puree,
It just makes sense. If you think about it from a flat earth perspective, and you realize that Lady Diana both was killed and faked her death, and was murdered by the royal family as part of their sick jihadist commitment to the Saudi government, obviously toenail puree, duh.
what's going to be awesome?
Hmm.
If we should try and get toenail puree. And it's got to be pinky toes.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I mean, because it's the smallest, which means it's the most concentrated.
Yeah, it's the toe that is most, like, if you draw a kinesiology map, that toe goes directly to the heart chakra. Shit sells itself, baby.
Checkmate, liberals.
Ode. This is the world we live in.
I want to trend. How do we trend something on Twitter?
It involves hashtags and ignorance. Can we do hashtag ignorance?
Mm-hmm. No, we got to start with toenail puree.
Yeah. Hashtag toenail puree. I'm not on Twitter, so I'm not going to be any help.
It's PTP, pinky toe.
Pinky toe puree.
PTP.
Yep.
Pinky toenail puree.
And you know, the one thing that you know is if you're buying our official certified pinky finger toenail puree, that is the one way that you will be able to know that you are not a lizard person.
Well, the lizard people have an allergic reaction, which is why they're trying to buy it all up so that it can no longer be used to create higher points of consciousness for the so that you can know that it was the Congress were crisis actors.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And also, we haven't said it because we're both good people, but clearly the Jew. Don't even have to provide any relevant reasoning. Just say the Jew.
I mean, is Pelosi not a Jewish name?
I mean, it might be. I'm ignorant. I have no idea.
Pretty Italian.
but it sounds not Canada-ish.
Well, is she just pretending to be Italian? That's what they do.
Yep.
When they're trying to get the toenail puree so that you can't achieve the higher consciousness, which will help you see the pizza place is really just a missile silo aimed at destroying the moon so that it can disrupt the tides. The tides control our brains.
But the saving grace in all this is that still President Trump, who is now in the body of President Biden, he is here to wage a deep state war in secret to expose, to finally drain that swamp, and to bring us all a newfound freedom.
Praise be.
Blessed be. Blessed be to Trump.
I feel really dirty right now. The whole
Yeah,
conversation.
I think this has been really productive, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. We've got a business model.
I came on here to promote a video, and yeah, this has been way better than that.
To be fair, it's a really good video,
To be fair,
and it's even better if you watch it with pinky toenail puree.
oh, that is the preferred condiment. You got to put that on
Absolutely.
your on your all natural lips and assholes hot dogs.
Yeah.
So,
Otherwise, vampire people will come out of the sewers and rape your babies.
chuds,
Chuds.
chuds.
The world needs more chuds.
I love the chuds. I've been to New York a bunch. I wish I'd met a chud. That would have been awesome.
Right? Or at
I
least
know.
a giant alligator.
I never even got to meet Pizza Rat. That
Ugh.
pissed me off.
See, and I've never been, but I know that when I go, I'll be walking down 42nd Street, just ready to take in some theater and the Chuds and Pizza Rat, and I'll see it all.
42nd Street's nowhere near the theater district.
If I can make it there, I can make it to the theater district.
No, where you got to go? The first thing you got to do when you get to New York is you got to hang on the corner of 52nd and Broadway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watching the yeah.
yeah. Cars passing by, none of them seem to go my way.
Fuck. That's always the way, isn't it? Like every time. You know, it's like when I'm at the Chelsea Hotel.
Yeah.
I wanna write some bullshit song about being in New York just so I can be like, oh yeah, like a shitty folk punk, just me and an acoustic guitar, so I can be like, oh yeah, when I was in New York City, I wrote this little song.
I feel like I'd be offended by that. So it's like literally right above my head here, this picture, that framed picture is me at John Lennon, like the John Lennon thing up there. That's literally, picture Times Square, 42nd Street Station, and then the Brooklyn Bridge is behind me. Like, don't.
But I'm not sassing people that go to New York. I'm sassing, in this particular context, I'm sassing folk punks who talk about every little fucking minutia that they've ever done, which is almost always something like unnecessarily pretentious. Like being in New York is one thing. Being in New York and having a real spiritual awakening so that I wrote this beautiful song for you, that's a whole nother monster.
It is. It is. I do love New York. Love it a lot.
I feel like I would love
I'm looking around my bar. I just want to throw the shout out to
the
our Thousand Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dad for life.
Okay, so let's just I'm gonna go about face here and talk about music if you don't mind.
I guess we could fit it in.
Okay, cool. So thank you for being on this this song that we were putting out.
Thank you for asking.
Well, but the plague landed and we canceled our St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I was like, oh well, this won't last forever. This will be over. This will be over quick.
Donald Trump says it'll be gone by May.
And I've called other people dumb tonight. So we then Goldfinger did. Have you seen those Goldfinger videos? The quarantine videos they did?
I don't think I have.
No, it's Goldfinger, so it's it's immediately caught in your head. Like it's just it's 6,000 fish hooks straight into your brain. You're like, oh
Okay.
yeah, nice. So Goldfinger did this. I was like, I sent the video to everyone in the Grinning Barretts, and I said, do you guys want to do something like this? We can't play live for a bit. Do you want to do something like this? Do one or two songs? And everyone was like, if it'll make you shut up and leave us alone, yeah, we'll do it. And so I made a promise I couldn't keep, and I said, yes, I will shut up and leave you alone.
Perfect.
I had no intention of keeping that promise.
No.
And then, so we went out and, I made a bunch of scratch tracks, and I then went to, I was like, well, we need an outdoor space to record this.
Mhm.
Where we're not going to get a noise complaint. So, I called the people at Riot Brewing, who are our friends, and I said, can I record drums outside your brewery? They're like, yeah, we don't care. Fuck off. All right. So we went down, we mic'd up the drums, and we tracked it, and we filmed drums. And then I took that and I sent it to bass player, and then I sent it to the pipers, and we got all that. And then I thought, okay, if we're gonna make a video, the thing I want to do, if we can't play live, we can't play shows with other bands we love, I want to be able to at least call attention to those bands. So I was on Facebook Messenger, and I messaged Nick from Foul English.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to wear your shirt in this video. And I just want to feature that somehow prominently. So, and he's like, done. It's in the mail here. I'm like, well, how many dollars do I need to send you? He's like, none whatsoever. Like, oh, that's really cool. And then this light bulb goes off in my brain. I'm like, well, Nick, you can record, can't you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, we don't all need to be in the same room anymore.
Yep.
Do you want to send me some vocals on this song? We were going to do Irish traditional song, The Foggy Dew. And he said, yes, I'm in. I'm done. Yes, I'll do it. And I was like, that's awesome. Cool. So for the first one, we're going to have a guest performer. It's going to, and now I had 9 more light bulbs go off in my head. Like, what if there was a friend on all of them?
Yeah.
And so there I go, me sending out messages, and as a result, we're talking right now.
This is true.
It's true. So the second one we did was another song, and that was with Matt Carter, and he's a friend. I used to play in bands with him way back in the day. 1999, the first time I played in Calgary, we played at a place across from the ship on 17th. Java Sharks. That's what it's called. We played Java Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a band I was in with Matt. So I said to Matt, would you like to contribute some vocals and some keys to this song? So he comes back at me with this absolutely epic, Rancid style organ. I'm like, it adds another element. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's great. And then we were going to do the Black Velvet Band, which is an Irish traditional, and it's got, that's a song about a dude who makes poor decision because he meets a girl. And I was like, well, what if we got both perspectives in that? And so I messaged my friend Allie in Victoria and I said, will you play a devil woman in a song? And she was like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. And then I was like, okay, this has been a great bar. Now we got to up it. And so I was like, all right, well, now we're getting 2 guests. And, I talked to Mark. I had a song, the song that's going to be released that I'm not going to tell you the title of. I was like, this needs something that's someone who's an angry gentleman, and Mark plays one on TV. So
Yes.
like, yes, that works. And then as the arrangement came together, I was like, this kind of needs an angry dude foaming at the mouth. And then that's you, Jim. That's you on the you're on the other side of my phone right now.
That's fucking awesome.
So, but we have 6 more of these
Cool.
COVID videos to do because apparently there's, we're gonna do a bunch more. So, not gonna spoil any of the people that have agreed to come in on these. Not gonna spoil that for anyone, but I will spoil that Jim, handsome James Martin, and Mark Russell are on the one that's going to drop when I wake up on Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
And as someone who has seen the end product, it's fucking awesome.
No, you haven't. You haven't seen. No. I'm trying.
No.
I'm trying to pretend it's still a secret from you.
Oh, yeah, no, it's, no. Oh, that's, I thought you meant.
Yeah, you can't wait, right? Yeah.
I'm fucking stoked. I'm super, like, I want to, like, share it with the world and be like, this is me, this is me, this is me, this is my friends, this is my friend. That's Mark, and that's Pat, and these are the pipers, and there's the drummer, and everything is cool. I wish I was cooler than that, but I'm so fucking not cooler than that.
And yeah. So hopefully it gets a good response. It's short. It's a short song.
It is. It's a pretty quick song, but it's, like there's a lot packed in. It's like a Snickers, right? It's got a lot fucking going on.
Yeah. Well, I when I moved from Calgary to the island, I realized I was getting a little bit older and I should probably mellow somewhat from the really screamy nonsense that I did in Sedition Choir. And I realized I can't. So this is some of the hardcore that we've been doing. We still do the Irish and the Scottish traditional music.
Yep.
So, I don't apologize for that. I like that old stuff. I mean, you'll never get more angry than an Irish or a Scottish fight song when you're, that's the roots. That's why, Joe Strummer and Shane McGowan were so pissed off, is that Irish blood. So.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I spent some time playing with the Shillelaghs, Calgary Celtic punk band, and yeah, man, like we covered the Foggy Dew. So that's one that I definitely
down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair. Yeah.
It's so fucking interesting how readily the classic, very folky Irish and Scottish music, which we hear and we're like, oh yeah, old people sitting around going, oh, but fuck, is it ever angry music? And you throw an electric guitar in there, and all of a sudden you're like, I want to hit somebody hard.
Arr. Yeah, it's true, and it truly has that fighting spirit to it, and I think I read many years ago in an interview that Ani DeFranco did that there's only 2 kinds of music in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's folk music and there's pop music.
Yep.
And folk music can become popular.
Yep.
Pop music will never become folk music. Folk music is when you have people telling you the truth about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And pop music, bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah. That's actually a remarkably cool way of looking at it, because I hit this point like really early in my life where I was like, I don't like pop music. I don't like, whether it was metal, whether it was punk, whether it was rock and roll. Pop to me was music that someone had surgically amputated the spirit from.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, and so I just began to explore the non-pop side, and like all over the map.
Yep.
And I'm still learning shit. Like just last night, I learned about Fato, which is music from Portugal. That's like it's like the blues, but different, but similar, and it's all like acoustic, very folky, and very fucking like just balls out power.
Yeah.
And like no matter what kind of music it is, the minute that you're crafting it just to get like, oh, I bet the radio kids would really enjoy this jingle, that becomes pop, and you can go away.
Yeah, and that makes, Public Enemy folk music.
Yep.
And the Ramones folk music, and Sick of It All folk
Yep.
music, and Chumbawamba is folk music. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And that may become very popular.
Yep.
And it can cross over and become popular. But the stuff that starts out as pop can never become folk music.
Yep.
And
Hey,
when it does, we're all fucking doomed.
Yep.
Then,
That is
now we got no soul.
Yep.
Now we got nothing left.
I like that. I've been bouncing around this theory in my head because like when I was a kid, I gravitated to rap music, like hardcore, Public Enemy, NWA, the gangsta rap of the time.
But
And
that was all people telling an honest story. That was about
about their experience. Their lived experience.
like the biggest NWA song, they have the authority to kill a minority.
Yep.
Right. That's telling you something about how those kids were growing up, and the risks they were taking daily, just going outside in Los Angeles with an African American face.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
Just the crime of being black.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking was, punk rock was mostly white kids, admittedly, who were like, I don't care if I'm good at guitar. I don't care if I'm a good musician. I just want to fucking yell and scream and swear and say what the fuck I want to do. And then rap music was that same thing in the black community. It was, instead of maybe grabbing a guitar, you were grabbing your dad's turntables and ruining his records, but you just had some shit you wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, it's all something that you want to say. The punk music came from white economic anxiety that wasn't directed at anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
It had no chance of going down that path and become, that all roads lead to Rome path of we're gonna become antisocial. It was all about, this disaffection is real. We're disadvantaged. There isn't a path out of this.
Yeah.
No matter how much hard work you do, you're still going to be under someone's bloody thumb, right? And nothing has proved that harder than the Robin Hood stock things, where they're screaming about, how are all these normal people now playing the market? This is something reserved for stock traders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful, if the poor just invested their money properly, they could be rich people. And then they do it. It's like, no, stop! You're taking away my living. It's like,
this isn't right. What about?
You wanted a casino thing. You wanted casino profits, but no casino risk. You prick.
And that is every fucking time the landlords at the start of COVID going like, well, someone has to do something because like we can't take risk.
No,
and,
I bought a house. I entered into a safe market. No, you didn't.
I shouldn't be expecting.
Look at what happened in 2009. Every person that bought a house because they wanted wanted a place to to live, wind up in the same market as you, and they wound up underwater. It's the same thing. So.
Yep, absolutely. I would love to live in a world where there was no risk, and but there was still reward. Like, just everything you did, you could just get free things and be awesome. That'd be great. I would love that, but that's bullshit. That's not real. And I love with all my heart the upset that people are having over these fucking Redditors who are gaming GameStop and making like mad fucking not just the money. The money is great, but the pointing or sticking the finger up the ass of stockbrokers who are losing their shit, going, but this is our trick. You can't play our games. That's not right.
Yeah, you can't do this. So.
Yeah. Turns out, power to the people. We fucking can, motherfucker.
Yeehaw. Jim, I gotta go.
I was just gonna say it's been a couple hours. I love you. It's been great fucking chatting with you. I can't wait to Tuesday to finally see the video. And and I will share the fuck out of that, and I hope that all of the thousands of people that are watching right now share the fuck out of it too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon when the world's not on fire.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Enjoy.
I will. You have a good night, man.